All right, I'm coming. Let's talk about how the Reds suck. Kevin, I got my nights mixed up. I thought this was the night that I'm with Junior talking about the Reds on a Reds podcast.
You got a Red podcast with Junior. No, this is the fantasy football. Oh yeah, take that garbage off.
There we go.
There we go.
Who day, baby? Who day?
Hey, and we're joined tonight with none other than Rob Gronkowski. Gronk is with us in the house tonight. Show me your TDs, Lee Pearson. Oh man! Hey, so as we get some things kicked off here, we got Lee with us. I just ask you, Lee, how you like your fantasy football team this year, Lee?
Well, it looks like I may have picked the right quarterback. Even though I waited so late, he looks to be,
David
and here
Carr?
I thought, yeah, he looks to be okay.
Yeah.
And I made the right pick on tight end so far. It's just those daggone receivers every year. Every year I never pick the right receivers. Never.
Well, I've got to ask you because, and I could be wrong. So this could have been, you could have done this in the past. But this year you came in with a notebook. I don't think I've ever seen you carry a notebook before in my life, but you had a notebook and you seemed like you had a strategy. So did you come in, was this the most prepared you'd ever been for a draft?
I would say yes. Without knowing everybody's names like I used to know,
yeah,
I was the most prepared ever. And I had a list of guys I wanted, and I would have to find my jumbled up mess again, but I think I got about 80% of the guys that I wanted.
Well, I got 80% of the guys I deserve. So.
Oh man.
And I would have
Kevin,
guessed.
you waited a long time for a quarterback, right?
Yeah, that worked out real well for me.
You're still waiting on one.
I'm still waiting on one. I'm about to try to pick one up this week. I waited 3 weeks. I might have. Hopefully, maybe I can get one that works.
Oh, there's some good ones out there.
I would have thought that Lee would have just harnessed his inner Gronk and just said, I don't study fantasy. I just run by guys. I thought that's what he would have. But he watched little film. It sounded like this year and
turning over a new leaf.
Yeah, turning over new. Yeah, and so
Rennie caught me. Rennie caught me when he come walking into the tavern. I had my notepad out and I was marking stuff. He said, "Oh, Mr. Prepared, I love it." And I felt like a dork. I'm like, "Oh, damn, somebody caught me trying, really trying this year."
Speaking of Rennie, this week's episode is brought to you by Queen City CrossFit. If you're a queen and you like to stay fit, go to Queen City CrossFit. So
it's like lifting weights, but all jacked up.
It is, yeah. So I've got some. We're gonna do some segments here, trying to give the listeners what they want, right? They want some more scripted out stuff. So got a couple awards we're gonna give out. So got a brand new award that we can't see it here in the post. I've got a little trailer for it, little bumper that we're gonna run. So we're gonna run the bumper right now.
This is Farmer Ed, and here's your Hillbilly of the Week.
All right, there it was. That's you guys love that. But we're giving away. This is the Hillbilly of the Week award, and so I'm going to go back in time. Week 1, Hillbilly of the Week for the draft. Week of the draft. That goes to Josh Rademacher for not showing up. All right.
Okay.
We gave away honorable mentions goes to our two friends that didn't pay their bar tab, but Josh for not showing up. All right. Week 1 of the season. All right, so this is post. We're going back. I get the Hillbilly of the Week award for not pulling OBJ out of my lineup and then for scoring 60 points. Okay, that's a hillbilly move. So I think you understand where this award's going. It's like when you do the most hillbilly Harrison thing, Danny could have won this 14 weeks in a row.
Ed would have given him a run for his money. But
Ed would have given him a run for his money. Okay, so that's kind of where this is. This week, all right, so the week 2 award goes to Junior. And you can't come out on Monday morning and claim high points. So this just lets you know you don't have to be the lowest scoring team to be the hillbilly. You don't have to be even a loser, Junior 1, to be a hillbilly. I mean, I'd run away with this award every week if we're just going off low score. But you come out on the chat on Monday morning and declare high points champion, and then you don't follow through, you're getting the hillbilly
Forgets there's a
award.
game left.
Yeah. You forget that Aaron Rodgers has got something to say about your high points. So, so Junior, congratulations on your hillbilly of the week.
Get my drink, Kevin. I got all excited. Got all excited and forgot to grab my drink.
I do have an honorable mention.
Okay, yeah, honorable mention.
It's a little bit of a stretch because this isn't like too much of a bonehead move, but it goes to Brian. Brian lost a really close match again, and when you look at his bench, there was a defensive move, but it's not the one you think. Like I go back a few days, and so like if you look at his lineup, he played the Arizona Cardinals, and he could have played the Bills, who were on his bench. But I don't really fault him for not playing the Bills. They only scored 2 points week 1. The fault that I would give Brian is for dropping Carolina to pick up Arizona, because Carolina got him 14 points week 1. And then he got scared off because they were facing Jameis Winston, who he's an interception machine.
He should have looked. He should have looked to see that Jameis was on my team.
Yeah. And Carolina got 11 points and he would have won. So if he would have just kept Carolina, didn't drop him for Arizona, but not quite,
Or he could have played the defense that was on his bench.
He could have done that as well, but the drop in Carolina for Arizona,
is there anybody that's had a worse 5 days of fantasy than Brian?
Yeah.
I
think you won Tuesday. Wednesday.
Pulled a Reggie Bush on him, took his win away. All right, so that's gone, and then he gets beat on Monday Night Football by Aaron Rodgers. That's tough. So that leads us to our next segment. I'm gonna let Dave give away a Miller Time Team of the Week. So Dave, take it away with your Miller Time Team of the Week.
And even people aren't gonna believe that this isn't scripted. I had no idea Lee was going to be on.
Yep.
But he's my Miller Time pick of the week. Because stop me if you've heard this before, but how many of us have been in the situation where it's Sunday afternoon, all our players are done, and we got a lead, and we're facing Adam, and there's either a Sunday night game left or a Monday night game left, and Adam has 1 or 2 guys left. And one of those 2 guys is always a Chief, and they're always playing the Sunday night game or the Monday game. And here comes Adam with his guy, and he just slowly, methodically catches up and then passes right in the 4th quarter and beats you. It's happened to I know it's happened to me. It's happened to everybody, it seems like, sometime. And this time, Lee held on by the skin of his freaking teeth. Adam couldn't quite. He had Kelsey. He had Watkins. He came up a point short or so. And it was
just over a point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So close.
Well,
it seemed inevitable.
Do you know did Adam submit a request for a point?
I guess it still could happen overnight.
What did Travis send him the link?
Yeah.
Like the request.
But Lee, congrats. You held on to a situation that most of us have failed at, is holding on to a lead against Adam on a Sunday night game or a Monday night game when you got nobody left.
I tried to stay awake and I kept watching. I'm like, well, there's a catch. There's a catch. And I woke up at 4 a.m. or whatever it was when I woke up on Monday morning, and I flipped my phone, no contacts in. I'm looking like this. I'm like, I'll be damned. Is this real?
And then, the flip side is Adam had a Raven wide receiver on his bench that he had week 1 in his lineup, flip-flopped him with Watkins, because I think there was an injury concern, or maybe, I don't know, he was just playing with it or going with his gut, but Marquise Hollywood Brown scored like 14 points, but,
I would have
done you in.
I would have put Sammy Watkins in myself. Going up against the Chiefs, I would have put in Sammy Watkins.
He only
Because how
needed
many
one more.
times have you seen the guy come in against his old team and just torch him?
Yeah.
So, but anyways,
Yeah. So congrats, Lee.
thank you.
Yellow Time Team of the Week right there.
There you
Thank
go.
you.
All right. So got a little game we're going to play, and Lee, feel free to jump in. We'll let Dave give an answer, then you can let us know what you think. All right. So
Okay.
this is called fluke or fact. Do you think that what's happening here? I'm going to give you a situation. Is this a fluke, like it probably won't last, or is this going to be like this for the rest of the season? All right. So we'll start with an easy one. Does Kevin have the worst team in fantasy football this year? Is that a fluke? Like, are these two losses a fluke, Dave, or is this a fact? Is this am I destined to be a cellar dweller?
I'm going with fact. I warned you. Well, not really warned. I guess it's more of a pointed out, made fun sort of thing after the fact of the suck one Barkley pick. That that was going to be a slow start for you, and it's turning into a slow mid-season.
Nobody could have expected this slow of a start.
Yeah. So yeah, you got a ways to go, and it's not just him. He didn't score, under 80 two weeks in a row by himself.
No, Dave's going fact. You got any commentary there, Lee?
Well, I see 3 names on there that I wouldn't mind having on my team.
3 wide receivers.
Well, that Godwin, Chris Godwin, he might catch 3 touchdowns this week because Brady might throw 5 or 6 every week.
Yeah,
It's looking like he could.
They can't all go to Gronk.
That's right.
so,
And that Tyler Higbee, the Rams the Rams look good. I think they're fun to watch right now.
Yeah. So.
And then that stupid Juju Smith-Schuster. That's probably why your team's terrible, because you picked that punk.
I picked a Steeler.
And hey, I did have AJ Green on my list as of what they call him, comeback player. Could just come out and be a stud. Well, I haven't seen them play yet, but I don't even know how many catches he has. Well, here, I'm going to pull it up right now. Oh,
they're scoring a lot of points.
He had a touchdown last week. Yeah. I see that now.
So he's trending in the right direction. Dave, what about, hear me out here. What about if like some of our positions were flexible? So I could just put in like 5 wide receivers and not have to start some of these running backs. Have you ever heard of anything like that?
It's the first time I've ever heard of that.
Okay, well, we'll look into it and see. Maybe we'll vote on that for next year.
That sounds like a fluke to me. It sounds made up.
All right.
So if there was a flex position, could you play 3 running backs?
Ooh, that sounds like crazy talk to me.
Yeah.
See, this is the only league I've ever been in. This is it. I've never played in any play, but every time I ask somebody what kind of league they're in, they say a 12-man league. I go, man, I think that's tough because, we see every week it's slim pickings each week to week. And then a lot of my buddies are, well, it's non-PPR. And I said, well, that's what we are. Yeah. But I don't see anything wrong with it. I have fun.
Yep. Well,
I mean,
speaking,
but I've never done anything else.
Speaking of flex, all right. Fluke or fact, Dave? Travis has the best team right now. Is this a fluke, or if you look at his lineup, do you think that Travis is going to be challenging Adam for a league championship, not the overall championship, maybe, but he's going to win this thing?
What do I preach every week? What do I preach every season? If you got 2 good running backs, I think he's going to have an injury or somebody to start sucking before you're going to be able to beat him.
All right. What do you think, Lee? Is Travis for real?
Well, I'll tell you, his starting lineup looks, he goes as far as Joe Mixon goes. How's that sound? Because that Cooper Kupp.
Oh,
Diesel Pete's.
Yeah.
Chase Claypool too. I mean,
So,
they look pretty good on paper. They look really good on paper.
yeah.
Now,
All right. So we'll go to the next question. Is Ed for real, Dave? Is this fluke or fact? We got he's still ranked up towards the top because of so many points he scored. I know he lost last week, but
he would have beat you.
He would have beat a lot of other teams. So
yeah.
Ed got a chance
Maybe
to make
even
the
me.
playoffs.
What did he score? I can't remember.
Like maybe 90. I don't know.
Okay, so it was a little off. But yeah, I mean, so far, does Brady look pretty good?
Yeah.
Is he getting him 30-some points? Is your quarterback getting you 30-some points?
like all of my quarterbacks over both weeks.
I mean, when you get like 38, 35 points from your quarterback, that's why, I mean, Ryan's been a tough luck loser 2 weeks in a row with 40 spots from his quarterback because he played people that just outscore him. But, I don't see Brady slowing down anytime soon. So that, I think, so Ed, it goes back to what we talked about week 1.
99.6 last week. I mean, that's
with Ed,
would beat me.
Go back. If he takes a week or two off and he doesn't fill out a lineup, that's going to set him back. Other than that, I think he'll be all right.
All right. That's impressive. All right. So we got 3 running backs that have been busts so far. All right. Three first round. You mentioned 4, but we got Zeke, Kamara, and Barkley. All people who you mentioned could have gone in
the 20th of 20, so he was right there.
but they have not shown off like that. So those were when I had pick number 3, I could have took Dalvin Cook, or one of those other guys. Those are guys you mentioned, Zeke and Kamara. None of them have done much yet. Is that fact or fluke for these guys? These guys going to end up pulling it together, or do you think that we could see some other guys rise up to be star running backs this season?
It's too early to say. I'll say fluke for a bust. You can't say fluke after 2 weeks because all those guys could easily get right back into the top 20 with 2 or 3 good weeks because they get fed the ball a lot. Some of the people that are in the top 20 just happen to get a couple scores, a couple running backs that may not even touch the ball too much. So it's too early to say fluke.
Yeah, like this kid from Dallas. Should Zeke be worried that they're going to start giving a lot of carries to this guy?
People are talking up this guy, aren't they?
He sure looked good.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't have picked Zeke with my 15th pick. I can't stand that little punk. I wouldn't pick him. No, not a chance.
So when you asked Lee to come on, did you told him to hold back a little bit, right?
I gave him no instructions whatsoever. I didn't think he'd even find his way in here.
Yeah, I'd say of all of them though, Saquon's got some to prove to me, but I think he's going to be fed the ball enough to where it's too much of. I can't say fluke yet, so you got a couple more weeks before.
That kid from Dallas had 13 carries last week.
Yeah.
And that's a lot to take from your star running back. But and I think Kamara will be fine. I think that they just had a down week. You know what I mean? I don't know. Saints are going to be Jekyll and Hyde. Who knows what they're going to be from week to week? I don't know how you beat Green Bay the way that they did and then come out and lay an egg like that. But they got to get things together really quick.
And maybe some of this, carry situation has to do with there's an extra game this year. And so they are trying to play the long game for 17 weeks. And they're not trying to kill their running backs, So
yeah. So
where's he from?
Pollard? I don't remember.
Yeah. University of Memphis. He played college football at University of Memphis. Drafted by the Cowboys in the 4th round of the 2019 draft. Okay.
There you go.
6 foot 216. He looked quicker he looked faster, quicker than Zeke did.
Yeah. Good change of pace. So, all right, this one's for Rennie. Fluke or fact, Jamar Chase?
Ooh. I'm kind of at a disadvantage. I didn't really see him play in college, so
Yeah.
And so I didn't watch him. So I still have a lot of preseason, that I watch him. But boy, I mean, I think he's fact. I think he's good. I mean, and now you got, Higgins might be banged up a little bit, and if we can just keep Burrow upright and throwing the ball, and
Yeah.
he
Good
seems
luck
to get
with
open.
that.
I think the good news for Chase is that he's not the only weapon on the Bengals. If he was the only wide receiver that they had, if some of these other guys weren't making plays, but T. Higgins can catch the ball, right? You got other guys that can be options. So it's not like you're running him out there and he's the only guy that's going to be able to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, so far he's not John Ross 2.0.
No, he's done the things he needs to do. Make catches in the regular season. So
And man, can he dance? Ooh, that boy can dance.
Are you a fan, Lee? Or
I don't know what you call that, what he was doing out there, but I didn't see any of the white guys doing any of that.
Oh, all right. So this one isn't so much fantasy involved. I was just looking at the power rankings for NFL teams. Las Vegas Raiders are a rising team. Dave, what do you think about? And this is Lee's here with us. He picked Carr. So man, what do you think about the Raiders?
I got I was able to see him. What first week they were on? What one of the night? Was it Monday or Sunday or something? But I think even though I have Waller, I thought they were trying to force feed him a little bit too much. I think if
You're exactly
next
right.
game, I think they didn't, and then he still ended up with a few catches. And I think they'll be better off if they don't just try to force feed him. That Ruggs is good. They got running backs that they can throw to. Defense seemed to hold its own, and Carr makes good decisions. So, I think they're a fun team to watch.
I've always been a Derek Carr guy. I don't know what it is about him. I've always liked that.
Yeah.
I've always.
Well, it's just funny going into the season. Everybody was commenting about how Gruden's nuts. They got to get rid of him, like all these moves that he's made, and then all of a sudden, like here they start out 2-0 and beat teams that you don't think that maybe they should have beat, and that first game they played, that Monday night game, what a grinder, right? It's like you didn't think they were going to come out and win that game at all.
You probably don't have a picture of him, do you? But it always looks like he's wearing eyeshadow. Don't you think? It's like he just looks like he's been made up for TV or something. Whatever he's.
Well, he is out in California.
I mean, I don't have a picture of him
You never know.
on the wall, Dave. No, I don't like.
Oh,
Find one, insert it right here, and then take it out. Yeah.
All right.
Picture
I'll pull
Derek
one up.
Carr.
I'll pull one up for the edit. So I have to remember. Oh, there we go. Just been. I mean, it's Vegas, Dave. What do you think's going to happen? You know what I mean? They don't even have. They don't have clocks. They don't have windows. You don't know what time it is. Like, that's all right. So we talked about Pollard a little. What's the guy's name from Dallas? Is that right?
Yeah.
I say it right?
Tony Pollard.
Tony Pollard.
Yeah. So he's a guy getting a little bit of buzz. He's on the free agent market. Any other injuries you noticed, Dave, or anybody that you think like people will be going to be going after? All these will be processed by the time we post this Thursday. We'll wake up and see kind of what the. But you see anybody having to make any big replacements?
Didn't last week you post it Wednesday night?
No, I didn't go out until maybe I did like at 2 a.m.
I don't know if we want to talk about it then. Okay. No, the one sort of that hit me is I picked this Atlanta running back thinking that he was going to get a bunch of carries, and this old Cordell or Patterson that he's bounced around team to team. The second running back for Atlanta keeps getting all the catches and touchdowns, and I'm like, so that guy, I don't even know if he's available, but
he is. Yep, it's Cordell Patterson, and then the kid from Dallas we've been talking about.
Yeah.
I think those are two big names that people are talking about for running back. quarterback, you got the kid for the Giants. There's a lot of
Bridgewater.
Yeah, you got some guys that like you said, defense, kickers, and tight ends. Good luck with that, because sounds like maybe that's what Brian's problem was. You're chasing after those points, right?
Yeah.
Like trying to, maybe this one will be better than the one I got. So I just warn everybody. I'd appreciate it. We should have put this out a day early. If nobody would use their waiver spots, I was looking to replace like 15 guys on my squad. I need some breathing room. I don't need anybody going in there and picking guys. So that's the issue that I got.
Are you gonna switch quarterbacks? No.
I don't. Man, I gotta think that my quarterback's that Winston's gonna come back to being what he was week 1. But
I'd have a hard time picking him for some boring guy. But
yeah.
We'll see. So let's get to this week's matchups. All right, we'll see. Dave.
I didn't run a whole lot.
I wanted to let guys know that Dave is still dropping write-ups, and there's nothing better than the written word. Oh, Dave got a corona? What's Dave got going on there?
Izzy.
Oh, Izzy. All right. Izzy's at Lee's house. So
yeah, she's probably in there sleeping. Yeah.
So you named her after the drink. How sweet.
Yeah. So we've got Miller against.
Who do I got? Oh, I know who I got.
Yeah, you're up against Junior. So that's Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson, and he's got Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. You can't like looking at that.
No, but I gotta hope that Junior will screw it up. I mean, I
if you had your draft over, Dave, would you still take McCaffrey number 1? If you knowing everything you've known up through now, would you? I
think so. Yeah. I mean, he hasn't hurt me. He didn't hurt me week 1 or 2. He gets
After
a lot of
tomorrow
carries,
night, you're going to be glad you have him. I predict a enormous night for him tomorrow night.
Yeah, I mean,
they throw it to him.
No, he's not been my problem. Week 1 when I lost, it wasn't because of him.
Yeah. So you gotta hope that maybe Junior will do something Junior-esque, right? Something boneheaded.
Possible.
Yeah.
I mean, really, if I score around 100, that I'll take that every time and take my chances with it. So
yeah,
that's what I think.
Rennie's already calling out Ed.
He is.
Yeah, he's coming after him. We got Rennie versus Ed. That's Brady versus Rodgers. I mean, that's like we got a playoff matchup there.
Yeah, I mean, I think Rennie forgets that he needed a pretty good effort. I mean, that's a normal Rodgers night, but he didn't run away with it. He caught up at the end with it, So he's beatable. And Ed proved week 1 that he can throw a bunch of points out there with Brady. So I think that'll be I think that's going to be a high scoring one.
All right, that brings us to Big Lee facing off against our friend Josh Rademacher. I just got to say something. If you're going to name your team Hurts So Good, shouldn't you start Hurts?
I was wondering that myself.
I mean, why would you name your team after your backup quarterback?
Yeah. He did go to Purdue, so.
I was just glad to see that he knows who's on his team since he didn't draft
it. He read it. He read it, or he watched the podcast, one of the two.
Maybe.
He found out somehow, yeah. Lee, how you like your chances against Ratty?
It's going to come down to the receivers, but Antonio Brown is on the COVID list.
Yeah.
So who does he put in? Does he put in, well, it looks like Landry is his only.
So he's going to be searching for somebody, isn't he?
Could be.
Hey, Josh, if you're listening to this, I've got 9 wide receivers and no other players. So you just let me know who you need. He does have Jones, and that guy proved that he can run the ball.
Yes. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Ran all over him last night, huh? He ran off without his dad's ashes.
Yeah, they sent some poor guy out looking for it at 2 a.m. So He recovered.
Yeah, Jones had more receiving touchdowns than any of our wide receivers. So,
Wouldn't you think that if those were your dad's ashes, you'd be out there looking for them?
Hey,
I'm just throwing that out there.
All right. So now we've got Brian versus Danny. I mean, Brian deserves a win. If Brian doesn't win this week,
that is, I mean,
he's going up against.
To see Brian sitting there in 10th place after I was so close, scoring a bunch week one.
Listen to this matchup: Kyler versus Mahomes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Dude, that's like those two guys are going to have 50 points apiece just in their quarterback play. That's I'm just jealous.
Brian has a little more to work with, I think. Danny's been all two guys,
Yeah. But you got to Harris. I don't know. Some of these guys you figure, but here's what's going to kill Danny if all those Mahomes touchdowns go to Tyreek Hill.
Yeah, and Tyreek has been kind of a little quiet.
Yeah.
I mean, comparatively to what he normally is, because they've gotten Kelsey's got a bunch, and he's spread it around a little bit. I think I don't know who's been getting all these touchdowns, because it hasn't been really it hasn't been Hilaire, right?
Yeah,
know.
So we've got they brought in somebody else to run at the goal line the other day. So,
yeah.
Or when they're on the goal line, they get a penalty, and so then they're backed up 5 yards. So that this is my life. So
yeah.
Then we've got Travis versus Adam. That's Russell Wilson versus Matt Stafford. That'll be a good matchup. We'll see if Travis can stay undefeated.
Do you think this week 2 thing is playing with Adam's head? He's trying to decide which receivers to play now. He's got Marquise back in there, but that doesn't mean he's I keep waiting for the week where Adam waits until Sunday and has all these guys benched like he does, just to throw us all off.
Yeah, so that when we go in to talk about it, we don't know what he's thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. Adam's got a formula. He'll figure it out, and he scores enough points that he's going to make it tough on Travis no matter what. Travis got to score points. You're not going to beat Adam by scoring 80 something points. So
yeah. So that could be high point winner right there.
Yeah, and then I am going up against Brennan. So the good news for us is that you could look at my lineup now, but you're not going to know anything because I'm dropping 15 guys and picking up 15 new ones. So
I don't know why ESPN hates Brennan, because he's 1-1. He's got more points than me, and yet their little algorithm thing has him dropping all the way to the bottom by the end of the season, and they got me rising all the way to 2.
Oh yeah. They love you, Dave. I was noticing that. We talked about it last week.
I don't get it. He beat me.
We talked about it last week. You scored. You didn't score a ton, but you scored. You shot up 4 more points even after raising again. So, they love you.
The only person they project higher is Travis, who's in first place. So,
well, that would make sense, right? Travis.
No love for Brennan. Look at that. Look, it's all red. It's the longest red line you've ever seen.
Yeah. I mean, I didn't have anywhere else to go. They started me out at the bottom, so.
Little Drake action.
Yeah. Well, so our standings, Dave, you always love this. We have a perfect curve, right? A perfect bell curve. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I love it.
We got 2 2-0 teams, 2 0-2 teams, and then everybody else right there in the middle.
Just bunched up.
Yep. So, and this is something, we don't talk about this enough, but this is something on any given week, this is where a team like Brian could, even though he's 0-2, could have a little bit of saving grace, right? He scored a lot of points.
Yeah, he'll jump up big time.
A healthy amount of points, right? And so one win for him is going to jump him up. Man, those during the season, having those bad weeks, I've dug myself a hole, right? Even if I start to put some wins together, I got to win twice as much because I got to overcome not only the deficit of no wins, but I got no points. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
when you're sitting week 14 or 12 or 12 or 13 and you're in ninth place and the guy in front of you only has one more win, but he's got 100 more points, and you're like,
Yeah.
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. I got
even if I beat him, I got to beat him by 100.
Yeah. So
You got to score some points.
Well, it should be fun. We got some fun NFL matchups. Who are the Bengals playing this week, Dave? Steelers?
Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Steelers week.
Steeler week.
Yeah.
Week.
Big Ben might be banged up a little.
And
who do they play after the Steelers? Isn't it a Thursday night game?
They got a Thursday night game coming up.
After the Steelers, I think. Isn't it the week of October 1st? Or
I believe you're right. So we've got Panthers Texans coming up tomorrow night.
yeah.
And Bengals Steelers is Sunday at 1. The primetime games are Packers 49ers and Eagles Cowboys. So, man, that'll be fun. 49ers versus Aaron Rodgers gets back-to-back weeks of primetime games. We'll see. Yeah, he hates that. Yeah, so we'll see how he does. We'll see Monday night. That Eagles Cowboys game will be fun too. See how good Dallas really is. But yeah, the Bengals got to bounce back this week. That if you're going to beat Pittsburgh, it's got to be in a week like this where they're banged up and they just haven't shown much offense. And man, I was those 3 picks in a row just buried Burrow.
Yeah, I mean,
defense really I thought played really well in most of the game.
No, you put them in holes like that, and they still almost won. So I mean, they can keep the Pittsburgh's woes continuing and pressure Ben into a few mistakes because he's trying to do too much. Capitalize on some short fields.
That Baltimore win stung. There's 2 teams that lost this weekend that I just think to myself, how do you ever lose a football game? And that's Seattle and Kansas City. It's like they get bored or something in the football game because they, from top to bottom, they're just so much better than the team they're playing. You jump out to big leads and then you just how do you let these teams come back on you? How do you let Baltimore come back on you like that?
Yeah, no, you just knew Kansas City was going to win that game, and then they didn't. Makes no sense.
Yeah, I mean the fumble by I'm sorry to Kansas City fans, the fumble by my running back doesn't help much, right? You can't even be trusted to ice the football game. So, all right, guys. Well, this was fun, Lee.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, Lee.
Absolutely.
Whole time. God bless America, Lee. Thanks for being here.
Well, we're still America.
Yeah, and
don't know how much longer, but well, we're still America.
My kids go back to school tomorrow. We get out of prison, so we're all good. So
your school thinks that COVID's real?
No, but they give you a free vacation if you test positive. So, all right. Well,
for COVID. Because
COVID.
Junior wouldn't have been able to go to school for all the stuff he had.
No, those are different tests.
Speaking of Junior, what about Eli Manning being Junior's son's dad?
Yeah.
Am I right? Seriously.
We've got some explaining to do.
As soon as I saw that, I yelled at Sarah. I'm like, hey, come here real quick. I'm like, doesn't that look like Kobe?
Kobe's dad is Eli Manning. I didn't know it until Lee tweeted it out, or texted out. So that's
speaking of, is there anything better than watching Peyton and Eli talk over a football game?
So hey, no. The we've done pretty good, I'll say, not talking over each other or anything like that. Did you hear Favre trying to get a word in?
Oh, good. Even Peyton acknowledged it. He goes, "Here I am talking over you," but then he kept going. He didn't let Favre talk.
Hey, Lee, you'll like this. We were talking about that you were going to jump on tonight, and Katie said, Lee's like if Rob Gronkowski and Pat McAfee had a love child. That's Lee.
Oh, man. That'd be like the coolest kid ever, wouldn't it? He'd be way up there.
She said that you want to live like Rob Gronkowski, but you want to cuss like Pat McAfee. So that's what.
Dude, that McAfee is something else.
Oh,
he killed it on there.
oh, he did.
Had you ever heard his Red 18 story that he told on there? Did you hear it?
Red 18. Man,
he
I've
was
listened
putting
to a
his
lot of his stories. Oh, yes. Yes.
Casino.
He gave
Hey,
him
how
the
about
wink.
that Red 18?
Yeah.
Manny walks by,
That
slaps him
sounds
on the
like
butt.
some Bo Jackson stuff. You know what I mean? That's like, oh, wait a minute here.
Everybody puts money on Red 18 and then it hits. Like that would have to be I'd tell that story for the rest of my life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's a pretty good one. But no, McAfee's cool.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, you guys have a good night. Thanks for jumping on, and we'll see everybody next time. All right.
See you on the
Thanks,
football
guys.
field.
See y'all.
See ya. All right.